Here is the lesson that I learned from a 3.5-year-old, right? So basically, this is what happened. My son, he loves chocolate protein milk for some chocolate protein milk, right? And so we bought him some like we've tried different brands. We tried the powder, we tried the ones in the bottles, all that type of stuff, right? And he loves them all. However, I learned this very, very important marketing tactic this morning. And I was like, I gotta share this with you guys. Marketing is so important. And that's why like when you see like they'll put these cartoon characters on these cereal boxes and stuff like that. It's all part like that's how they're getting the kids, right? Because they'll see these characters on TV, and then they'll want whatever they see, right? So it's what I saw. We had the milk for him, and we went to buy some milk yesterday, but we got a different brand. We got a different brand, and so this morning when we go to give him the milk, he's like, "No, I don't like it." I'm like, "You never tried it before. How do you know you don't like it?" Like, "Oh no, I don't like it." I'm like, "Just try it and find out if you like it or not." Like, "No, no, no, I don't like it." My wife is like, "It's because of the bottle. He doesn't like the design of the bottle." I'm like, "What? Just like the design of the bottle?" That's what it was. So she's like, "All right, go put it in a cup for him." I go and I put it in a cup, right? Put the bottle in the cup, and close it, straw, whatever, and I bring it back to him. He drinks the entire thing. He drinks the whole bottle. So it wasn't about liking or not liking the milk. He didn't like the bottle. And that's why I all if the presentation that you present is super important. That's why when people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't have to do well in an interview. You shouldn't have to be able to communicate. You just need to know how to do the job." No, being able to communicate is also part of doing the job, right? It's basic. You need to be able to sell yourself. You need to be able to network and communicate efficiently. You need to be able to share the value that you bring. And for a 3.5-year-old, the value was in the design of the bottle. He didn't like the colors, the color layout, all that stuff in the bottle. So and then as soon as you change the bottle to something else, he was like perfectly fine with it. And he drank the whole entire thing. And he probably wants more. And probably tomorrow he'll drink from the regular new bottle. And my message to you is you need to work on your presentation, on your communication, on your delivery, on your appearance. So like you can have all the tech skills in the world. You can be like I'm telling you, I knew a developer who was like a genius, but he had terrible, terrible social skills. And don't get me wrong, my social skills are not the best. As a guy that I train with at jiu-jitsu, right? I don't really like to talk and all that. I just want to work. Everything that I do, I just want to work, right? But I also know when I need to turn it on, I'm like, all right, we have to be social, we have to network, we have to communicate effectively. And that's why my message to you is always, you need to be the full package. You don't need to be 100% at everything. But if you get to like 75, 60, even 65% of everything, right? You're going to learn more during the process. But if you're like, "Oh, I'm not going to work on my appearance, I'm not going to work on how I communicate. I'm just going to, I'm like they need to accept me as I am." I was watching a Diary of a CEO, right? And I can't remember the name of I think it's Ava or something. I can't remember the name of the lady, right? But she used to be in the Secret Service. And she was talking about like, look, you don't need to be yourself at work. You don't need to be yourself at work. What do you mean I don't need to be myself at work? I should be myself anywhere I go. No, it's like the people at work, it's about getting work done. It's not about being besties and going out to a happy hour and stuff like that. You need to be personable. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to contribute, to add value. But they and then like if people were close, great, but leave your my, in jiu-jitsu, right? We have a saying, and it's harder said than done, or it's easier said than done. Easier said than done. Leave your ego at the door. That's a say. That's a saying that we go by. Leave your ego at the door, because people will get like very triggered and emotional because when things aren't going their way, and it's like this is like learning to learning to like learning to like learning how to learn. As I can put it best, right? Learning how to learn from people who have more knowledge, more experience, more years in the game. That's what it's about right there. And I learned this marketing tactic from a 3.5-year-old. The presentation matters. This one bottle, he didn't like it. The other, we put it in another packaging, and he loved it. He drank the whole entire thing. All right? Market yourself. My message to you from a 3.5-year-old: learn how to market yourself effectively. That's it. That's what you got to do. You need to learn how to market yourself effectively so that you can sell yourself and you can win. You can win. Let's go. Let's get it. All right.
I can't fight for you no more. Knocking on a locked up door. You said you were in but faded out. Your silence echoes a deafening shout. I saw the fire dim in their eyes. Promises bare.